back to my channel. If this is the first time that you are seeing me, hello, my name is Rachel and I am obviously a registered dental hygienist, but I also make a lot of lifestyle related videos talking about my puppy, who usually insists on being in every single video that I create. So if you didn't know, how I became a dental hygienist was a little bit different than going to school for 2 years or 4 years. I became a dental hygienist in 19 and a half months, and I get a lot of questions on how I was able to do that and what kind of program that I personally did. Now, before I get started talking about my journey of how my experience was, I just want to put out there that this all happened 9 years ago, so there's a lot of things that I don't really remember super clearly. So I'm going to be referencing my handbook and my notes a lot throughout this video to make sure that I'm giving you as much accurate information as I possibly can. So what I did is called a 144 quarter credit hour program. I went to what you would call a technical school or a trade school. I did not go to a university. Therefore, I did not have the traditional, you go to school for fall and spring, then you're off on the summer. I went to school all year round, which is the reason why I was able to get it done so much quicker. Hygiene is something that I had been wanting to do for a pretty long time. I was really big between becoming a registered nurse or a dental hygienist, and I was lucky enough to have my childhood dentist that I had had my whole life train me to be a dental office assistant for my whole senior year. Because during my senior year of high school, I only needed, I think, 3 credits to graduate, so I had the rest of the time for me to be able to work. So I went to school for 3 classes, and then I went straight to work where they trained me on the job, and I got to see firsthand exactly what dental hygienists do. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to know exactly what was really happening, and I wanted it to be able to give me a real insight in if this is something I'm really going to enjoy doing or not before I spent all the money and time and went to school for it. So long story short, I did that my whole senior year. I loved it, and that's what ultimately made me decide to continue on with my idea of becoming a dental hygienist. So in order to get into school, I applied for it when I was a senior in high school. So the whole application process, the whole interview, how that stuff happened, definitely have to refer to my notes for this because I honestly don't really remember much about it. So the requirements were that I had to be a graduate of an approved high school or have a high school equivalency, which is a GED. I did graduate from high school, so I was covered there. I also had to submit an application to the school and send over my official transcripts from my high school, and if I had had any other education beyond that, I would have to send that as well, but I was coming directly from high school, so that's all I had. The high school preparation must include 1 year of each biology, chemistry, and algebra with a minimum grade of a C, and all applicants were required to take a pre-admissions test before they were able to be enrolled, and you had to have a 2.5 GPA before you were able to apply. All applicants that were selected had to submit satisfactory results from a comprehensive pre-entrance physical and eye exam that are obtained at the applicant's expense. I also had to provide documentation of my immunization, my hepatitis B immunization, and titer levels, and also tuberculosis testing. Any conviction of a felony would result in the PA State Board of Dentistry to deny your license. We also had to complete both clearances for Act 34 and 151 prior to enrolling. See, even just reading through this, there's so many things that I really don't even remember doing. I don't remember if we were the first class that didn't have to do this or if we were the last class that did, but I know that they were making you go through the dental assistant program or have a dental assistant background before you were able to apply, and I just think that is so dumb because if you know anything about a dental assistant or a dental hygienist, our jobs are completely different. I just think that's a huge waste of money. And another thing is that you don't even have to go to school, at least in my state, to be a dental assistant. So I'm not sure why they were making people pay additional money to be a dental assistant and then also have to pay money to become a dental hygienist when that's really all they wanted in the first place. I don't know. So since the number of applicants are going to be greater than the number of seats that they are able to fill, the applicants were ranked from highest to lowest, and only the highest ranking applicants were going to be accepted. Some things that would help you in your rankings is if you had any previous dental background knowledge and what your grades were in high school, or if you had any other college experience. Then after that was all said and done, you had to go in and tour the campus and meet the directors. Then you were able to decide if yes, for sure, this is what I want to do, and that's what I chose to do. So then I started in August of 2012 and I finished in March of 2014. In order to tell you exactly how our class schedules went, I have every single class schedule from the time I started dental hygiene school all the way up until the end. So I am going to go through those. For all of this, I had school Monday through Friday. So my very first term, I had Human Behaviors, Anatomy and Physiology 1, and Chemistry for the Health Sciences. And then the second term, I had College Communications, Psychology, Dental Embryology and Histology, and Anatomy and Physiology 2 from 7:30 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon. And then my third term, I had Dynamic Communications, Orofacial Structures, Intro to Dental Hygiene Preclinic, Microbiology and Chemistry, and that was from 7:30 to 4:30. And then for my fourth term, I had a Dental Radiology Lab, Dental Radiology Lecture, Microbiology, Dental Hygiene Lecture, Tooth Morphology, and Dental Hygiene Preclinic. And that's from 7:30 to 4:30. And then my fifth term was Dental Radiology Lecture, Perio 1, Dental Hygiene Lecture, Dental Hygiene Preclinic, and Dental Radiology Lab from 7:30 to 4:30. My sixth term was Dental Hygiene Clinic, so that was like one whole day. So we were broken up into two groups, so half of us had clinic on certain days and the other half of us had clinic on other days. So we had clinic, at this point it was 1.5 days every single week, and then we also had seminar, Perio 2, Nutrition, Dental Materials Lecture, and Dental Materials Lab from 7:30 to 4:30. And then for my seventh term, I had Intro to Pharmacology Lecture, Oral Pathology Lecture, Dental Hygiene Lecture, Dental Materials Lecture, Dental Materials Lab, and Clinic for one full day and a half. This was all 7:30 to 4:30. And then for my eighth term, I had Oral Pathology 2, Local Anesthesia Lecture, Local Anesthesia Lab, Dental Hygiene Lecture, and Clinic, still one full day and a half. So for my ninth term, I had Pharmacology 2 Lecture, Perio 3 Lecture, Dental Hygiene Lecture, Anesthesia Lab, and again, one full day and a half of Dental Hygiene Clinic. And And for my 10th term, I had seminar, then I had community health, and now I had 2.5 days of clinic. And our community health was like a day and a half long as well, because part of it was being in lecture and the other part of it was going out to schools and daycares and anything you can think of, retirement homes, and we had to give presentations and speeches educating people about oral hygiene. And then my 11th term was the literally exact same thing. And my 12th term was professional development, clinical lecture, and regular dental hygiene clinic. This is now from 7 o'clock until 6:30. So we were at school for, I would say, at least 8 hours a day, and this is coming up to almost 12 hours a day. And then for my last term, there were 13 terms. I had Perio 4, clinic lecture, and regular dental hygiene clinic. And this was from 7:30 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. So all in all, the big difference of what I did versus going to a traditional college is I didn't get the traditional college experience because I didn't get to live on campus. I got it done way faster. I also didn't get the breaks that everyone else has. I had, I think, 5 days off for Christmas and 2 days off for Thanksgiving. Other than that, I was there every single day. We got off holidays that we actually had to be off, but I never got a spring break. I never got a summer break. There was absolutely none of that. Another difference is I didn't have very many unrelated gen ed courses. I personally don't think I had any unrelated gen ed courses. So my gen ed courses were psychology, college communications, chemistry for the health sciences, human behaviors, and dynamic communications. All of those things pertained to my career. I didn't have like art history or geography or like any other random class that literally has nothing to do with my degree. I also didn't have to go to school for a full year like some places do to get into the program. Now with that being said, if we failed one class, then you were kicked out of the program. Another thing is that they highly recommended that you did not work while you were doing this. When I started, there was, I think, 25 people in our class. By the time we got to clinic, there were, I think, 20 people in our class, and when we graduated there was only 18, and that is because we picked up 2 people from the year before who had failed and needed to pick back up where we currently were. So from the girls that I started with, we went from 25 to 16. That's how many people failed out. I remember having a test literally almost every single day. It's definitely highly advanced in that sense, and I mean, at the end of the day, you still get the exact same education. I had to take my national boards, my regional boards, my clinical boards, everything that every other school has to take. I mean, I had to take the exact same things to get my license. I just did it in a different way. My overall thoughts, would I do it again? Absolutely not. It was literally in my entire life. Like every second of my waking day was dedicated to this, and I got absolutely zero financial aid. I got zero help. I mean, I had some scholarships, but other than that, I paid for everything myself, and I had to pay for living expenses because where I went to school is not where I lived, and I was not about to drive a couple hours to school every single day. So it definitely cost, I would say, a lot more money for me than what I've heard other people go to school for. Like, I've heard people go to school for like $15,000. Like, that's literally insane to me. I paid like 4 times that. That is my experience of getting my license and going through dental hygiene school and how I was able to do it in under 2 years. I'm glad that I did it the way that I did because I got done so fast. I'm happy with my career choice. I hope that that answered a lot of your questions. If you still have any questions about this, then please leave them in the comment section down below and I will definitely get back to you. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure you let me know by hitting the like button. If you want to see more of my dental hygiene videos, I will leave a playlist about all my dental hygiene videos in the description box below. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything that I post, and as always, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!